Hey, what's up, whoa, YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a circus. This circus features a few different things. We have a large ring where we would have people performing. We have a tightrope and we have acrobatic seats. I don't even know what to call those. We also have several stands for people to sit in. We have a few different kinds of carts as well, like we have a hot dog stand, we have like a peanut cart, we have a drinks place, we have a balloon stand, we have a few different things as well for the circus. We've got a couple of motorbikes, we've got a ring of fire, some juggling implements, we've got some weights for the strongmen, we have an animal cage. This is a humane circus, that's only for clowns, and we also have Dumbo as well. If you do enjoy this video, please do remember to hit that like button, and without any further ado, let's get started. This is the amount of space required to make your circus, a 67 by 49 block area, as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground, which you are more than welcome to make if you do feel as though it will help you plan out your build. Here are all of the materials that you will need to make the circus. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. Step 1. If you have made the grid, come all the way over to the front left hand corner of it. We want to count to the right and we want to find the 31st block in, which I already have marked out for myself. That is the 31st block. We then want to move one block inwards, and this is where things are going to start. So begin by placing a red concrete and then one to the right. Then we're actually going to leave a gap of 3. 1, 2, 3. Then place 2 red concrete, and then backwards and diagonally place 2 white concrete going right, and then 2 red. Backwards and diagonally place 2 white concrete going right, 2 red, 2 white, and then again backwards and diagonally place 2 red concrete to the right, 2 white, 2 red. Backwards and diagonally place 2 white concrete going right, and then backwards and diagonally 2 red concrete going right, and then again with the white concrete, and then again with red concrete. Now a little bit different, we're going to place white concrete backwards and diagonally to the right. However, we sort of want to go back as well, so we want to place 2 white concrete, and then a row of red concrete doing the same thing, and then a row of white concrete doing the same thing, and then a row of red concrete doing the same thing, and once more a row of white concrete doing the same thing. Now we're going to place a row of red concrete doing the same thing. However, now we are going to extend backwards and we want to place 2 white concrete, 3 red, 1, 2, 3. You may even want to mark this area out. This becomes a little bit more important later, the middle block of the 3 red concretes. Then we want to place 2 white concrete, 2 red concrete, and then we want to start extending inwards diagonally again. So 2 white concrete going back, and then 2 red concrete going back, 2 white, 2 red, 2 white. Now we're going to the back and then to the left. So that's 2 red, 2 white, 2 red, 2 white, 2 red, and then we're going to extend left a little bit more, so 2 white concrete, 2 red, then backwards and diagonally again, so back to the left I should say, 2 white, followed by 2 red, followed by 2 white, like this. Now we are going to make the long part of the back of the tent, and then I can show you what we've done so far. So we want to have 2 red concrete, back and to the left, and then left of that 2 white, left of that 2 red, Left of that, 3 white. 1, 2, 3. And then 2 red, 2 white, 2 red. So, what we want to have should look like this. And the reason that I want to show it you is just so that you guys can kind of get a gauge on what this is supposed to look like, because it is a lot of interconnected small rows together. So I just thought it might give you a little bit of a better idea of if things are going well or not, because it's easy to mess up with these sorts of like floor plans. I have done it myself many times. I know how tricky it can be. So we're going to continue on from where we left off, and we want to extend forwards and to the left with white concrete, and we want a row of 2 going left, followed by 2 red concrete, 2 white concrete. Then we want to move forward and left with red concrete, and we want a row of 2, and then a row of 2 white, 2 red, and then forwards and left with a row of 2 white concrete, 2 red, 2 white, 2 red, and then we want to move left and forwards, and we want a row of 2 white, and then red, and then white, and then red, and then white, and then finally red. And then we want to extend a row of 2 white concrete in front, followed by a row of 3 red. 1, 2, 3. Once again, the middle block of the row of 3 here is significant, so you may want to mark it out. Then we want to place 2 white in front, 2 red in front, and then 2 white right and in front of this, so right and in front again, followed by 2 red right and in front, 2 white right and in front, 2 red right and in front, 2 white, and then 2 red concrete right and in front, going, so this time instead of like going right and then down, we're going like forwards and then right, if that makes sense. So we've got 2 red, and then 2 white, 2 red, 2 white, 2 red, extend to the right by 2 using white concrete, 1, 2, and then 2 with red concrete, and then forwards and to the right place 2 white concretes, and then 2 red concretes going right, 2 white, and then forwards and to the right 2 red concretes, followed by 2 white concretes. So the end result of this, hopefully you guys have the exact same thing. But again, these things can be tricky. I know that it's easy to accidentally misplace a block, but this is what we want to have. Big giant oval. So with the big giant oval, there's a few things to do. So there's 2 very time-consuming things that we are going to do right away that do not require me to show you guys how to do it. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to place on top of every single one of the red concrete blocks and on top of every single one of the white concrete blocks, we want to place a row of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy peasy. That's all we want to do. We want to do this all the way around. It's going to take a very, very long time. So I'm going to do a little bit of it with you. And I'm also going to show you what really, really long task we have to do after this as well. So not only do we want to raise up every single one of these blocks, and they are numerous. I don't know why white concrete ended up there. Every single one of these blocks wants to be raised up by 4 blocks like this, just going all the way around. You can imagine what that will look like once it's been done. But we want to dig out the center of the tent, so in between the kind of like entranceway that we have here, and then literally the entire inside, and this is going to be a bit tricky if I keep accidentally digging a little bit deeper than I should. I might have to form a different strategy for this. So we want to dig out the entire middle of the tent, and we want to turn it into sand. Now, both of these things will take a very, very long time. However, they are not difficult. So I am going to do that for myself. I'm going to go away and I'll be back probably in like 25 minutes, however long this is going to take. And half an hour later, here we are. So, this is what it will look like once you have raised up every single one of the red and white concrete blocks. We have added 4 on top of them to in total give us 5 rows high, rows of red and white concrete blocks. And inside of the circus, just inside of the tent, we've dug it all up and we have replaced it with sand. And it gives you this very, very satisfying combination of colours. So, once you have done that for yourself, what are we going to be doing next? So, what we're going to be doing next is ever so slightly tricky. So, what I'm going to recommend is that you come all the way to the entrance of your circus and mark out the middle of the entrance. So it's just literally this block here. It's just a block either side. Extend this block backwards or follow it backwards. You don't actually literally have to place blocks. And what we're looking to do is we are looking to find the center point of the circus. It's fairly easy to do. So as you can see, it's basically where we have the middle point on the side of the tent, which I marked out earlier with sand. It's the only row of 3 on the left and right sides. And of course, that is where that joins together at a right angle with the front middle part of the tent. So this is the middle of the tent. Why is this important, you're probably asking? Like, why is this useless information? Not really, because this middle point of the tent, I'm going to recommend that you just raise it up a little bit. It needs to be raised up. And the reason for that is that now we have raised up that middle point, we can now get to work on the roof. The roof is fairly simple in theory. Fairly simple in theory. So, come back to the entrance. I know that this is a lot of back and forth, but we want this to look right. Take any one of the red blocks from the entrance, it does not matter which one, and extend the top blocks of the entrance backwards by 2. 1, 2. And then up 2. 1, 2. And then back 2. 1, 2. And then up 2. 1, 2. That's the last time that I'm going to say that. So, that is what we want to do. Up 2. Back 2. I guess that's the last time that I'm going to say that. And eventually, after extending backwards and up twice, I didn't want to say it again, but I have. But extending up to and back to, eventually we will reach a point where we converge, might be the correct term, where we converge with the middle of our circus. So, after extending up to and back to a certain amount of times, we will find that the middle block that, because we've been extending back to and up to, there is a middle block that bridges the gap. We want to make sure that the middle block of the up to and back to here is where the center point of the circus is. And we want to extend this block up at 1 row. We'll just do 1 row. And then we want to take the end of the row of 2, and instead of going up, we want to go down 2. 1, 2. And then back 2. 1, 2, and then down 2 and back 2. You guys get the idea. So we want to extend down 2 and back 2 until eventually we hit the back part of the tent. And all being well, because this is an even shape, it's not like it's even on all sides. If an oval has sides, it should join together rather naturally at the back here. And now that we have done that, we are then able to construct the rest of the roof. So, quite simply, we want to take every flat part of the tent here, and for instance, like we've got red concrete here, right? So this row of 2 and this row of 2 and the row of white that should be in between, by the way, you can bridge the gap here with a row of 3 white. All of these rows want to be the same. So you can add a row of red concrete on the side here, and this is where this part of the roof ends, because this is the left side, this is the far side of the particular flat part of the roof that we're doing, because the roof is made up of layers. I'm trying to figure out a way to explain it better than I am. So the roof is made up of layers, and each one of those layers begin when we have a new part of the outside of our tent. So here, for instance, you can see that the next part here, this white concrete here, is obviously extended inwards from the previous row of red. So the way that we do this is we take the top row of the white concrete here and we extend it backwards until we are able to then lock the white concrete inside of the red concrete, and hopefully this makes sense. So we're going to do this a few times just so that you guys can sort of like get an idea of this, because it is a little bit tricky, you know, or at least the way that I'm explaining it might be tricky. But I mean, the idea is very simple. All we do is we just want to, at the start of each different layer of the roof, and some of the layers are different than others. This is what gives it its shape, and this is why it's sort of like interesting to look at. So we just want to make sure that, and I can demonstrate this again, that this is as high as, like, this is where every single row of the roof starts from the top here, but as you can see, the white concrete just sits inside of the red concrete. And that's all there is to it. And this is how the roof slowly tapers down, and it gets a little bit flat in places, because of course the way that the roof is pitched is that obviously that you've got the really high point in the middle, and because these things are made out of, essentially they are just giant tents, kind of like made out of cloth or some sort of like synthetic fabric, they don't hang just like diagonally like a regular roof would if it was made out of something different. They hang in kind of like, they sort of drape a bit. So you can see that this next row of red here, these two rows of red, they are in the same row as the row of white. So these rows of red are simply going to follow along with the white concrete. But after we have tackled this row of red, and once we've done that, we can then look at doing the next layer of the roof, and so on and so forth. So, like I said, I'll do a couple of them with you because they do get progressively easier as well. Like, as you start from the center and work your way down, you're naturally using less and less blocks because you don't have to go as high. So, we just have a couple, just one more row of red here, which, as I mentioned, it's in the exact same place as the row of white. There's no point in trying to extend it inwards because you could, if you wanted to, like I said, like if you wanted to make it look more like a standard roof, or that it's going to look weird fast because you don't want it to taper down too quickly. Like, it really does just kind of want to look as though that it just flows down. It doesn't want to look as though that it's like forced down. Like, it took a little bit of experimentation to try and get this thing right. So there we go. You can see two layers of the roof sort of done. We do have the middle to do, but this is the concept. So you can see here where we have these rows of white next. Of course, we want to extend these rows of white backwards, and you can see that the flat part, you know, it starts getting flatter and flatter and flatter quite quickly. You can see that these want to then get just extended backwards and then inside, and it's fairly simple. And then just to like let's just do this. Let's do this part of the roof. Like let's do another end just to kind of like once again demonstrate, and then we can probably then go our separate ways. And so I've kind of got to, I want to do this side first, and then I'll copy this. You know, I'll just do like a couple of ends of each part of it. And I'm probably making this out to be a bigger deal than it should be. Like, I'm sure that you guys are watching this and you're like, I get it, it's simple. But, you know, just for my own, just so that I can make sure, hopefully, that everybody is 100% on board, I just want everybody's builds to look as they should. So let's get these extended down, and it really is like these are the harder parts. Oh, my bad. And again, you see, it's easy to forget. It's easy to just kind of like get in the zone. They all want to connect here. So let's come all the way over to this row, and then we can do the row inside. So that might also be a strategy, by the way, because I don't know how you guys build, but sometimes when I'm doing big builds like this, and when I've got big parts of builds that are a little bit, you know, tedious, might be the word, you know, when you're just sort of doing the same thing over and over and over again. And of course, the end result is going to be great, but you know, doing it might not be the most fun. Like, sometimes I like to turn things into like little games, so like I might like to do like 2 ends of this and then fill the middles in, or I might kind of like want to like do each side evenly, or I might want to do like all of the red blocks and then all the white blocks after, you know, like you can mix and match it up just to kind of like deal with some of the, you know, the repetitive nature. But you can imagine anyway that what the middle of that will look like. It will look like the 2 rows that we've already got. But once more, we're going to take this is the next portion, because you can see again it kind of like extends inwards, and it's the same strategy once again. You just extend the top block backwards and then you lock it in. That's all you do. And then the same thing would be done obviously on this side as well, because it's the same flat part, and then this part comes in a bit. I mean, some of these parts you will only have like 1 row to do, and that's perfectly fine. So where we have this white, of course, it will come in even more, like, and the shape will start to break it down a little bit, but that's perfectly okay, because you get this really cool sort of effect for the roof. So I'm going to do a little bit more of the roof. I'll probably show you a couple more stages of it. Okay, so as you can see, the roof is coming along nicely, and I have got to the point in the roof where we've sort of like ran out of these double wide portions of the roof, and now we've got to the point where we only have like little single slices. So my idea here is that we are going to kind of like double up. So when we have this white concrete here, I want to extend it backwards as usual, and up and back and up and back, and you guys get the idea. And then logically, like after this row's been done, then I would swap over to red. But I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply add another row of white concrete. So instead of like I said, just changing to the red, I'm going to double up on the white, and I'm just going to extend this all backwards, you know, as I usually would. And then like when it comes to the next 2, like I'm going to do the same sort of thing again. So I'm just going to like double up on the red, just like this. So we're still like doing the same sort of thing, but you know, we're just instead of just doing like a little single, because I think it might look a little bit weird, just like with the, and then that'd go there. So just like with this, and then finally, you know, we've just got this little bit on the end here, which I guess, yeah, I guess that we do have to just like do a single row of white, just like this, and then that would be there. And we might even figure out something to do, but yeah, that's what I want to do. And I think that looks more natural, right? I think that looks just a little bit better. So that's what we're going to go with, and I'll be back in a second once I've just applied that. And there we go. This is pretty much what one side of your roof will look like once it has been almost sort of completed. And you're probably looking at this and you're like, yikes, this does not look great. But, and by the way, I also thought that, but something that we're going to do that really does like pull this all together is that we are adding just one little bit of extra roof down at the bottom here. So what we'll be doing is we'll be coming to the sides, the bottom of the sides, we'll take the top blocks, drop down one, and what essentially we'll be doing is we'll be extending not the top block, but the one down below, we'll be extending it outwards by 2 rows. And this gives us a much more natural gradation might be the word. And we just want to kind of like just do this going all the way around the side of the roof. Now, I want to do probably about a quarter of the roof just now, because I want to make sure that this is going to look good. So it's you know, we'll take things as they come, but I think that this will look way better. And then you see now that we're on the sides, you know, things get a little bit trickier. So do we extend this outwards by 2 as well? I think that we do. I think we just take all of these blocks, and then maybe we just bridge the gap here just with a single white concrete, you know? So like, instead of it just, and again, this is about gradation. This is about it not being, things being gradual rather than just kind of like having just weird big drops. And like, the side of the roof looked a little bit weird to me, and I want to show you guys that obviously it does look a lot better. I mean, there we go. There we go. Does that not fix it immediately? That just looks so much better, doesn't it? Like, that is just such a huge improvement. There we go. So, I didn't want you guys looking at that and thinking like, has this gone wrong? Like, what have I done here? This looks horrible. No, it does look way better. So, once you have completed one full side for yourself, and of course we'll have to do that around the back and stuff, but we have an entire other side of the roof to do. And, I mean, need I say that it's once again, like, I'm not gonna do the middle part just yet, because the middle part, I think that what we're gonna do is we're gonna like peak the middle part, like, you know, the 3 rows of white. I think that I'm going to peak it, so I'm not going to do that quite yet. I'm going to just take these rows here of red concrete, and I'm going to extend them up 2 and back 2 and up 2 and back 2, and then I'm going to do the same with the row of white, except it's going to be a little bit smaller. You guys know how to do the roof by now, okay? So I'm going to do this opposite side of the roof. You guys know how to do it now, and then we'll come back and we'll add some finer details to the tent once we get to that point. So I have just completed this side as well. So the last 2 things that I'm going to do, maybe 3 things we'll see, is I have to fill the very middle part of the tent in, which I think I'm going to make ever so slightly higher than the other 2 parts, and I am going to add the rows of white and red all the way around the edge, just to kind of like fill out the tent a little bit. But I've also considered that this looks a little bit weird, this white just sort of like being a block. So I think that I'm just going to add like just an extra row or an extra block of white concrete on the left and right sides, just because it looks a little bit better this way, and it's a very simple fix. Like, I think that just looks way better. So, more work. Okay, so I'm at the point where the roof is almost done, and we have a few things left to do, but the majority of this is done, and don't worry, this isn't going to take too much longer. So, we have to kind of like make the part that sticks out above the entrance, and I mean, I'm sure that you guys can imagine how this is going to go. I'm just going to extend this white concrete down, but we're just going to take all the red concretes and all these white concretes here, and we're just going to extend them outwards, just like that. I mean, you know, need I say more? You can further define the entrance if you like by kind of just adding a couple of rows of red concrete by the sides, and honestly, I'd leave it as is. I mean, you could kind of like flare the bottoms as well, but I mean, I think that it's probably going to be more than obvious that that is the entrance, especially when we add the sign. But first, I want to come all the way up to the very top here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the row of white concrete here, just up a row at the top, and maybe even just the 2 reds on the side as well, just so that it peaks a little bit more. And I want to add a flag, so the flag's going to go right in the middle. We're going to have a row of 1, 2, 3 oak fence, and then we're going to stick like a red concrete to the right of it, maybe like 1 on top, and we just want to make it look like just kind of like a regular old flag. So something like this, and like if we extend the blocks out, you know, just something like that, kind of like an abstract shape. I think that looks pretty good. And next, and the last thing that we are doing with the outside, except of course we'll rip up the floor and everything outside a little bit later on, but last but not least, we have to make the sign. So the sign is obviously it's just gonna say Circus, and it's made out of red banners, and we don't need the loom anymore. So let's throw a red banner in there. Not doing a very good job here. So let's throw a red banner in there with some yellow dye. And the first letter that we've got to make is C. So that's going to be a horizontal row across the top, horizontal row across the bottom, vertical row up the left. And there we go. Boom. C. The next letter will be I. So that is basically just a vertical row of yellow straight up the middle. Next, it's going to be R. So that's a vertical row of yellow on the left side, horizontal on the top, and then a diagonal row, top left corner to bottom right corner. And there we have R. And then the next letter would be C again, but we can just reuse that. So what we are instead going to do is make U, which is a vertical row on the right, on the left, and then across the bottom. Boom. And then last but not least, we have S. So that is a horizontal row across the bottom. And then a horizontal row across the top. And then a diagonal row, top left corner to bottom right corner. And there we have S. So this isn't how you spell circus. But, oh, we also have to make the frame as well for the actual sign. So that's made using oak fence and red concrete. And basically the framework for the sign, I believe it starts, because I don't know if it's CIRCUS. Oh, I think that we've actually got to make it ever so slightly wider. So the sign is going to it's going to start here, like where we have the main entrance here. It's going to start here on this corner where we have the white concrete, and it's just going to be a row of oak here, an oak here, and then we're going to have red concrete on top, and it's going to bridge the gap between them, and then it's going to stick out an additional row. And if we start with a C here, so C space I space R space C space U space S. Boom. There we go. And because the build is so big, like, it doesn't look weird that the letters are spaced out. So there we go. So the next thing that we're going to do, and let's just replace that with sand whilst we're here. The next thing that we're going to do is head inside of the circuit. Oh, we missed a block. That is so glaringly obvious from the inside. I guess we only missed the one though, I can tell you that. So what we might want to do in here, it might help quite a bit, is if we just add a couple of torches just about the place. So it doesn't have to be anywhere specific. You don't have to do it in specific rows or whatever, but I'm at the very least going to light up the sort of like middle part of the circus just whilst we are working on it. And we'll probably need these as well, so I don't know how many we're going to add. Like I said, we'll just start off with these. I'm just going to have like a pair just kind of like in the middle, and I mean they could be on every single one of these, or you know, we're probably going to need them on the ring as well, but that has certainly helped a little bit. Let's just throw a couple on the ground, just a few, because it's going to help. I don't want to struggle to see, you know. So there we go. That's not too bad. I don't know whether it's actually going to help us to keep where the middle part of the tent is. So I'm actually going to leave that red concrete marker in the ground, just because I think that might actually be a little bit helpful later. So that red marker, I think I'm actually going to build it into the floor. Oh, it's already built into the floor. My bad. So there we go. I'm just going to leave it like that. So what we're going to do first of all, so we've got a few big things to mark out in here. So we need the red concrete. We need the white concrete. We're going to need the smooth quartz stairs, and we'll also need the oak fence. And we don't really need all of these. I don't think we need the dye again, but you know, we'll just leave it here. We'll throw the torches in the inventory as well. So where we have the entrance to our circus. Okay, so from either side of the entrance, we want to count inwards, and we want to find the 14th block in. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I'm going to mark that out with a white concrete. And I want to do the same if I were to have counted from the opposite side as well. So you can just leave a gap of 3. And you can even connect the gap of 3 together with alternating red and white concrete blocks. And that's what we're going to be doing for the entire ring. So this is going to be the ring that we're making, and this is kind of like the centerpiece of the circus. So let's take the bottom of the row that we've made. It looks kind of like a sad candy cane at the moment. And we want to extend the bottom of this down by 5. And we want to use alternating red and white blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We then want to go right, down, right, down. Right by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then in, right, and then up by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leave a gap of 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we want to place, what did we leave on? A white concrete, so 1, 2, 3. Then we want to place a row of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, starting with a white concrete. And then we want to go left, up, and then we want to go left by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then down, left, down, left, and then we just want to connect all the way down. And that's all there is to it. So, hopefully, and I'm glad that we kept the center point. The center point should be literally like where we have the middle of the circle. Like, the circle should be around the center point, if that makes sense. That's probably a better way of saying it. But anyway, I'm going to add, I think, just a torch on each one of the 4 corners, because it does also want to be a little bit dark. Like, we don't want to light the whole place up. Like, we really want to shine attention on this centerpiece. We probably won't add too much more light beyond here. So anyway, speaking of the centerpiece, I'm going to add a white concrete in the middle of it with red concrete all the way around, and that's kind of like where the ringmaster would be. We can even mark out a couple more things as well. So there is going to be a net in the middle here, and basically just to mark out where the net's going to be, we'll probably do so like we'll take each one of the 4 corners and we'll move outwards diagonally by like 1 and 2. So like the second, yeah, maybe like we'll leave a gap of 2, so like 1, 2, and then this third row here. And then let's mark that out, and then let's see how that looks. We'll probably want it to be a little bit more rectangular. So 1, 2, 3, that's where that would be. Well, yeah, we're almost certainly going to want this to be a little bit more rectangular. So that's 1, 2, and then that would be 3, and then 1, 2, and then that would be 3. And then if we move these posts out by 1, then that should be fine. Like, it doesn't have to be like an insane rectangle, but I just didn't want it being a square, which is what it would have been. So that's fine. And then we can make these, I think 2 rows high will be fine, because all it is, it's a net for the tightrope. So, I mean, it could even be an extra row high, but we'll just leave that marked out for now anyway. We can sort that out a little bit later on. I want to do these stands. There are 3 stands, and there's basically like 1 each on the front left corner and the front right corner of the ring, and then there's 1 in the back left corner, and then I kind of like the idea of just like leaving a big sort of open space, but I'm not 100% sure. We might add that 4th one in, we'll just have to see. But anyway, let's start with the front right one, and what we're essentially going to do is, you see here, the corner of the ring. Doesn't really make sense that a ring would have a corner, but you get the idea. We want to leave a gap of 3 on the sides from these red concretes here. So like 1, 2, 3, red concrete. And then here, 1, 2, 3, red concrete. And then we're going to extend the red concretes inwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we extend each of these in, and then join it together in the middle. There we go. And then we have kind of like Mario's mustache, or Wario's mustache. And then from the ends here, we want to leave a gap of 1, and then we want to have a row of 1, 2, 3 red concretes extending back, gap of 1, 1, 2, 3 red concretes extending back. And then we want to join these together. So this first row here, we're going to have a row of that, not that. We're going to have a row of smooth quartz stairs that kind of like just join together in the middle using, they want to join together in the middle using like a red concrete like this, right? Behind these stairs, we're going to add another row of red concrete like so. And then we're going to, behind this again, we're going to add another row of red concrete. But this one is a little bit more significant because you see this row of red concrete, we want to add another row of stairs. So it wants to be like two rows of seating. And then in the middle, at the back here, we just want this to join together. So you can see how the seats go. And I mean, we could even like, we could even make it so that the seats kind of like line up a little bit more like that. That's not too bad. And then you can walk around still. And then we've just got to add like some sides onto this, add an extra row at the back here. So like on the sides here, like we just want to add like an extra row of red concrete here, maybe even here and here. No. So here, no, there. Where do I want to add it? Maybe here. And then it doesn't have to be, yeah, I guess it does want to be there. Or does it? I'm so indecisive. Yeah, I want the red concrete to go next to the seats. Like I want it to be as high as that. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect them together just at the back. And that's all the seating is. I'm sure that this has got a name. I'm thinking more like, it's more like kind of like Colosseum? What? Colosseum style seating? I think I just mixed the word stadium and Colosseum together in my mind. A Colosseum, like the Romans used to have. So maybe just like, and then, I mean, then maybe we can just have like a torch in the corner here just to keep that lit up. Or maybe not. And that's as simple as the seating goes. So like, it's as easy as that. So like, we can do this to the opposite side here as well. So we take the two corners of the circle, leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, red concrete. 1, 2, 3, red concrete. And then in 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we just join it together inwards like this. And then we leave a gap of 1, red concrete, and then we have the two converging rows of, so a gap of 1, red concrete, and then the two converging rows of smooth quartz stairs, red concrete in the middle, and then red concrete behind like this. And then another row of red concrete behind, and this one's a tad bit more significant as it is the, there we go, so we add this here, here, perfect, and then two rows of red concrete kind of just join it together just like this, here and here, add this here, perfect, and then we just got to add a row of red concrete behind this. We might even stylize it a little bit, like we might add some fence to maybe like the corner parts. But this really isn't about the seating. Like, your attention probably shouldn't be on these stands. Maybe that's what I should... It's a stand. Maybe that's what I should refer to it as. So that'd be like here. And then, is that how I have it? Yeah, it's like 1, 1, 2. And then you could have just like in the corners to make it look more like a stand. You could just have the oak. It does make... It just kind of add a little something to it. Like, I don't know, it does just look a little bit better, I think. So you can do that, I mean, in every single one of the corners, pretty much. You just knock a couple of blocks out and then have oak fence in there. And then torch in the middle. And just like I did with the other one, I think we'll knock out these corner seats. And we'll just have like a little bit of... There we go, just a little bit of red concrete. And I think that looks just fine. I don't have the torch in the same place on this side, but I might even remove the torches completely. But there we go. So we've got like 2 sets of stand seating. And we're just going to add one last one. I am very tempted to add another one, like to add 4 stand seats. I don't know whether they'll get in the way though. But anyway, let's do the one that is required. So just on this opposite corner, a gap of 3. Red concrete, gap of 3, red concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4, in, out, there we go. And then gap of 1, and then red concrete. We do the stairs that join together. I'm going a little bit fast, guys, because you know we've done this a few times already. So here, and then we're going to add the red concrete behind. It's mostly unnecessary, but it does kind of just like make it easier to place the stairs and such. It doesn't take too long to do. We want to add Another row of seating, of course, across the back here and here. And then we want to have, and I'll just knock the corners out. I'll just do that after the fact. It's not exactly economic with the materials, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So here, just like, what am I doing? So maybe I'll do that little bit detail at the end. So here, and then, yeah, so it's 1, 1, 2, and then referring to, like, you know, the diagonal blocks. So here, so dark, so dark. Couple of oak fence in the corner. I'm thinking I will add that 4th stand, only, but will I? I don't know. I mean, maybe we don't have to add it right now. We can choose. And I sort of like the stands being in a bit of darkness. I'm a little bit indecisive with it. I mean, the cool thing about this build is that you can kind of like choose. And it does seem a little bit weird that we would just leave this, but that's because we've actually got some like circus decoration and stuff on this side. So we'll look at it. We'll look at it. So what do we want to do next? We need the light grey concrete, smooth quartz stairs, red concrete. We need ladders. We need oak fence. Probably need torches as well again. We definitely need chains. And we'll probably need the cobwebs as well now. So, on the left and right side of the ring, we want to find the middle point. It's quite easy because, you know, we know where the middle of the ring is. Come to the end of the middle of the ring and leave a gap of 1, 2, 3, and then extend a row of 11 light grey concrete upwards from the 4th block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just like this. And then around this 11th row, we want to, ouch, just hit my elbow. And then we want to add red concrete, pretty much on every single side but this back side. And on the back of the row of light grey concrete, we want a smooth quartz stairs at the bottom with ladders running all the way up. And then upside down, quartz stairs on either side of the red concrete, like this. And then I'm going to place some oak fence around the top of this, but leaving a gap in the middle. And we can... It makes sense that we would have torches up here, so I'm not sure whether on the middles... Yeah, kind of on the middles look quite good. And then we've got to do this on the opposite side as well. So if we come to the opposite side, we find the middle, we leave a gap of 1, 2, 3. This 4th block, we want a row of 11, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we're going to have a quartz stairs on the back, row of ladders up the back, and then red concrete all the way around the top of the light grey concrete, except for where the ladder is, of course. And then upside down smooth quartz stairs in front of and behind the red concretes like this. Oak fence around this, and then I'm gonna add the torches in the middle because I like it because it's centered with the like light grey pole. And then we're just going to join... Oh, my bad. And then we're just going to join each one of these. Because this is meant to emulate a tightrope. Or a tight chain, I guess. But, you know. The chain's more visible than, like, string would be. And string would, like, be better. But, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. Chain's quite good for this. I accidentally placed one there. So here. Here. We're rapidly approaching this opposite side here. And then here. Yes, there we go, perfect. And that looks really cool. And then we just place the cobwebs. I think... Do I want them to... I think that I'm going to make the oak fence 3 rows high, right? And then I'm going to place the cobweb in between. That's how I'm going to do it here. And here. And just like this. Oh, this is something to mention as well. If you don't want this in the middle of your circus, maybe I've placed it like this. If you don't want this in the middle of your circus, you don't have to. I'm going to give you a couple of things that you can kind of like add to the center instead of this net, and you can kind of like mix and match things around. Like, there's an option to have an elephant in the middle. There's like a cage, you could put like an animal in there. I know, we're kind of going with some of the more cruel options for the circus. This is an animal circus, but I figure that's okay because this is just Minecraft. You know, the animals get treated very well in Minecraft, trust me. And we just want to add a little bit more web. I mean, I don't know if this is too big or what, but I think that kind of like demonstrates why it is. You could even make the middle kind of like a little bit lower if you want to, but that's a little bit of minutia that you may or may not want to do. So that's kind of like the center of the ring, okay? This is the basic circus, right? This is as basic as it gets. This is perfect. Like, and when I say basic, by the way, this looks great. But this is kind of like, this is the bare minimum of what I would add. But you can kind of like add a little bit more. You can make it a little bit more interesting. So there is, I don't know if this, are these called a trapeze? A trapezius? I think that's an actual shape. But basically, I might be wrong about this completely. I want to add 2 like floating seats in the middle of the circus. So basically, right? I want to follow the, and we can even use a block for this because sometimes it's just easier sometimes. So I want to find the middle of the chain, which is of course, it's above where the middle of the actual ring is. And I'm going to run a row of red concrete just up to the top here like this. And I want to have 2 rows of white stained glass pane suspended from the ceiling. And these 2 rows of glass pane are going to be suspended, and they want to drop all the way down. And they can be a little bit further away than this if you like, or they can be closer, it doesn't really matter. And it's basically, you know, like it's just part of the acrobatics that one might see at the circus. So like here, and I think I'm just going to have it float just a little bit higher, just a tad bit higher than the chain. And I want the other row, of course. And this basically, the glass, funnily enough, looks better than the string. So it's meant to just be like 2 seats, and this is what the trapdoors are for as well. 2 seats kind of like suspended. And it's a good job. Oh, actually, we can probably rest on the chain here. There we go. And like that's 1 seat, and then we want to have the same thing opposite here. So how many rows is that away? So I'd guesstimate that to be, well, I don't have to guess, 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, and then we can place the trap doors underneath, and then we can place underneath here, and then glass pane on top. There we go. And then we can place white glass pane extending up from each of these trap doors. Perfect. And they will connect in the same way as the opposite side. I just find it easier to build up than down, which is why I went to such great trouble to avoid that. There we go. Destroy all of these guiding blocks. We don't need the middle row anymore. There we go. Boom. Perfect. And it just adds something else, you know, and you can make those higher, you can make those lower, you can change those positions, but I just like how that looks. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to add a couple of carts and stuff around. Carts and stuff. It's a perfect shop. We're going to add some carts and such around the edge of the circus. So I'm thinking a balloon cart. So that's spruce wood stairs, spruce wood slabs. We're going to have oak fence gate. We're going to need end rods, light blue concrete, or light blue shulker and then yellow shulker. By the way, I've actually got a tutorial for a balloon stand. So if you want to make one that's a bit more complicated than this, then feel free. But this is just one that I've adapted for the circus. Oh, we also need the oak trap doors. So add this wherever you like, by the way. But I'd recommend to not place it near where the 2 towers are here. I place it around the side. So basically, the balloon cart looks like this. Like it's an upside down. I'm going to have it 1 row away here. An upside down, spruce stairs, spruce wood slab in front, oak trapdoors either side like this. And then oak fence gates at the back of the cart. And then a couple of end rods on top of one of the blocks, and then a single on top of the other one. And then shulker boxes on top. They sort of look like balloons. That's all there is to it. You can add more than one of those, by the way. We'll start with 1 because there's a few different options for stuff, but you know, you can have more than one of those. We have most of what we need to make a hot dog cart. So the hot dog cart, where do I want it? I might, like, that's one of my 2 favorite carts. So I might have like a hot dog. I might have a hot dog cart here, just in front of the left of the build. So in front left of the ring. So like the first sort of thing that you'd get. So We have red concrete, we have white, we have oak trap doors, we have oak fence gates, we need the chests, glass, and we also need the red candle and the yellow candle just for a little bit of decoration. So these hot dog carts, again, I'm going to try and keep them like one row away from everything. We'll start off with white concrete, red concrete, white concrete. I might even move them one row inwards again because it just makes it a bit easier to maneuver, so just like this. And then I want to extend the ends of these to the right each by 3, so like 1, 2, 2, 3. And I want to alternate between red and white concretes. And then I'm going to place oak trap doors on the ends like this to look like wheels. And then oak fence gates to make it look like a cart so that you can like push it. And I don't know whether this is in the way of the circus, but I don't know. We're also going to add a glass block here just on the left. And then we're going to add like a red candle and a yellow candle. And this is just meant to look like mustard and ketchup. And just a chest inside here just looks pretty good. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, the last thing that we can add to this, I think that we're out of materials for this, is just like just a light grey concrete on the back here. And that's all there is to it. So, for the rest of the circus and the carts and the decorations that we're going to be adding, we're going to need some different stuff. We might have had some of these materials before already, but you know how it is. You know, a lot of these things have repeat material, so I'm sorry if you have to keep re-grabbing the same old stuff. Let me clear out my inventory and let's grab hopefully everything that we need just to put a finish on the circus. So for this next part, we will be using all of these materials that you can see on the screen right now. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And once you've grabbed all of those, we're going to start off with the red carpet, the yellow carpet, tripwire hooks, item frame, cooked beef, flower pots, detector rail, grey concrete, and oak wood stairs. So the grey concrete is to be placed next to the light grey concrete here. Going to place a couple of tripwire hooks, red carpet on top of one of the concretes and a yellow on top of the other. Going to have a little warming stand in the form of a detector rail and just a couple of flower pots strewn about the place, maybe even just one flower pot. The glass block, again, it's kind of like another sort of like, oh, we keep the hot dogs here, so I'm going to put some cooked beef hot dogs, not pork, we're going beef this time. So beef hot dogs here. I'm going to chuck either red, I might chuck yellow carpet on top of this. And then there we go. I mean, that's the stand. I mean, it requires a little bit of imagination, but I'm pretty happy with how it looks. So, we're going to make a slightly smaller stand to the right. And I'm not 100% sure. I'm slightly stalling here. So, I'm not sure where to put it, right? So, I might put it here, just off to the side a little bit, because I don't want to crowd this front bit too much. So, I think I'm going to put it off to the side. And it uses a lot of the same materials as one of the other stands, so I'm a bit upset that I got rid of them. But we need oak wood stairs that I just threw away. We need oak wood slabs, oak fence gate, trap door, item frame, red concrete. We don't need red concrete. Glass. We need red carpet, and we need pumpkin seeds specifically. So the reason for this is, okay, so we're gonna, once again, I want it sort of like one row away from everything here. And I don't want it too close to this part, so we have an upside down oak wood stair, slab in front, oak trapdoors on the sides of this, with oak fence gates out of the back and open. On top of this, a glass block, red carpet on top, item frame on the front, pumpkin seeds in front of that. So this requires a little bit of imagination, so this can go two ways in my mind. This can either be kind of like a nut stand, in which, you know, like salted peanuts and stuff, and maybe they're warmed and that's what the glass container's for, or possibly a popcorn stand as well. So, you know, it can kind of like go either way. It's you know, however you want to kind of imagine it, and it's kind of fun just to be like, it's whatever you want it to be. we are going to have one final stand, and this is going to be over here. So I do not think that we're going to add another seating stand in, because I kind of want this part to be open. I want people to be drawn to this open part over here. Not over there, I want that pretty much empty, but over here in this area I want people to be drawn to it. So we're going to make it's basically just a drink stand, and it's going to be a very, very simple one. Nothing too complicated. Upgrade them if you like, but yellow concrete, upside down quartz stairs. Smooth quartz stairs. We don't need them upside down yet. You can't grab them upside down. I wish you could. I wish there were different items, to be honest. We need red concrete, blue concrete, either smooth quartz slabs, or I'm not sure whether oak trap doors will look a little bit better. Brewing stands, flower pots, and that might just about be... Oh, we also need like levers as well. So once again, you know, I kind of want... I'm going to have this like towards the end of the ring. Maybe I'll bring it one row in, then maybe I'll leave a couple of rows, and then this is kind of like where it'll be. So I'm going to have like a yellow concrete here, 2 upside down smooth quartz stairs to the right, yellow concrete. I'm going to have an upside down quartz stairs extending from the first concrete going back, yellow concrete behind, extend the yellow concrete across like this. And then behind this side, I want to have a row of 1, 2, 3 blue concrete, red concrete, 1, 2, 3 blue concrete extending up here. And I'm going to have a couple of flower pots on the left, a couple of brewing stands on the right, a couple of levers pointed down into where the pots are. And then I'm not sure whether I like the idea of oak trap doors kind of like overhanging this, or whether I like quartz slabs. I'm thinking I like the oak trap doors. And then just kind of like a till, I'm thinking. So basically just like a sideways smooth quartz stairs. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Or I mean, maybe not even have the till. I don't quite know. I'm quite happy with how that just sort of looks as it is. If we were going to do a till, actually, maybe like a different stair would be in order, so like an andesite or something like that, and then that way like we can have it placed this way. And then I don't know if you can actually place pressure plates on upside down stairs, so this might be an issue. But what color? I mean, I guess a stone one. Oh, you can, no problem. So, you know, there we go, and that's all there is to it. So just kind of like a very basic drink stand, and I'm quite happy with that. I mean, you could even have coffee and what have you, but I'm imagining that to be like a pop stand or a soda stand or whatever, you know, whatever you want to imagine it. And I'm quite happy with the amount of stands myself. Feel free to add more of them, like one could go there and one could go there, but I probably wouldn't add too many more. I'm quite happy with the current amount. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we've got our stands, we've got our different carts and stuff, all of our confectionaries. So the next thing that we're going to add is a couple of things that you might actually see in the circus. So first of all, I just thought of another thing that we could add too, which might be pretty cool to add. So to make the first thing, I'm thinking like a big giant fire hoop that, you know, people either like jump through or drive through. So I'm thinking like red concrete, quartz stairs, quartz slabs. I'm thinking iron bars, netherrack, flint and steel, and that should actually do it just about. So these things that I'm going to show you don't have particular positions, okay? So these things are kind of going to just be in this general sort of area, alright? So this general sort of area, and if we want to, we might even make some more stuff and we might place it over there, but this general sort of area, okay? And let's start. So the first thing that we're going to make is going to be a ring of fire. And you're not going to want to place it too close to the edge of the tent. It's going to want to be more so within like a little bit centered. And we're going to start off by placing 3 iron bars on top of each other. So that would be 1, 2, and then 3. We're going to stick a netherrack on top. And then we're going to light the netherrack. And then in front of and behind the netherrack, we want to have a block of quartz. And then upside down smooth quartz stairs either side, like this. Try not to set yourself on fire. And then we want to have regular stairs on top of these sideways stairs. I think that we're going to clear the tent. And then we're going to want to have upside down stairs on these sides again. And then solid blocks of quartz on top of these. You could even make this a little bit shorter if you wanted to. And then we're kind of going to do the reverse. So it will be sideways stairs, upside down stairs like this, sideways stairs, and we're very lucky we've just cleared it. And then we're going to simply place blocks of quartz. So, like this. Perfect. It kind of reminds me of the Eye of Sauron. So, the next thing that we're going to do is just in front and behind it, we're just going to place like a little ramp. So, the ramp, I mean, it's up to you how far away it wants to be, but basically the ramp is such that we just want to have like a quartz stair with red concrete on either side and maybe just like a little slab just in front of it, you know, just kind of like extending up. So, something like that I think will be pretty good. Stair here, red concrete either side. Something similar to this I'd be pretty happy with. And there you go. And we don't have the materials to make an entire bike, but we actually do have some of them. You know, we can make a pretty standard bike, I think. And we could even have a couple of them. It could be a nice little decoration. So if you don't care what colour the bike is, let's say that I want mine to be yellow, because why not? Maybe even blue. Let's make a blue one. We can make most of a bike. I do say most, not the entire bike, because we'd need some stuff. So, we start off with a black concrete. A coloured concrete behind it, I'm going blue. Rail behind this, it wants to be facing this way specifically. Black concrete. Levers either side of the colourful block. There you go. We'll just need a couple of buttons, a minecart, and a couple of pressure plates, and there we go. Pressure plates could be swapped out for slabs. No, they can't. It looks stupid with slabs, actually. It just looks a little bit weird, so I wouldn't use slabs. But yeah, there we go. We can put an end to that later. Maybe we can even make a yellow one as well, like have another one. Because I think it would be cool. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever been to the circus. Hopefully you have, because sometimes it can be quite fun. Is, you know, there's plenty of acts where, like, there's motorbikes driving around inside of big metal balls and stuff and jumping things, like... There's all sorts of different stuff, but I mean, that's a pretty cool thing, to be honest with you. Anyway, nice little bit of extra decoration. So the next thing that we're going to make, or at least try and make the majority of, is going to be an animal cage. So this is going to be a black concrete, and this is kind of out of Dumbo, by the way. So it's kind of also like a shout out to Dumbo. Like, it's what they kept Dumbo in the film. It's sort of similar anyway. That's what I think about it. So black concrete, stone brick slab, smooth quartz slab, we need the red concrete, end rods, and then all of the quartz stuff, so like smooth quartz stairs, we've already got the slabs, yellow concrete, and we'll just need buttons again, so that's a reoccurring theme. So this, I'm just going to place it here, like I'm slowly going to take up this space moving towards the back here, and if we run out of space, we'll go over there, but I want to kind of contain it in this area, mostly. So I'm going to start off with black concrete, and I'm going to place a couple of smooth quartz slabs behind it. Black concrete, smooth quartz slab. I want to have smooth quartz slabs on both ends. Extend them towards us by 3, so that's 1, 2, 3. We want to have black concrete on the inside of the smooth quartz slabs. Smooth quartz slabs in between. Stone brick slabs in the middle of this. And then we want to have 2 red concretes on each corner. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. Perfect. Then we're going to place end rods. This is going to provide a good amount of light as well. End rods are basically just bars. And if you want to, you can put, like... I mean, we could also, like, put clowns or something in this. I mean, when I say clowns, armor stands. You know, with colourful leather and stuff. And heads. Like, you could do that. I don't know, there's like multiple things for this, but like I said, it's kind of like a shout out to Dumbo. Like when I think of the circus, I think of kind of like Dumbo and that sort of circus, you know. So anyway, we want to have yellow concrete on top of the 2 middle sets of the long set of end rods. We want smooth quartz stairs on either sides of the yellow concretes. We then want to place smooth quartz slabs extending outwards from each of those. Then, this is tricky to place. We want to have not upside down. We want to have smooth quartz stairs on the ends of this. So, kind of like that. Or do we... Actually, no. We want to have smooth quartz stairs opposite the smooth quartz stairs. So, like, we want to have smooth quartz stairs and then opposite smooth quartz stairs. And then upside down smooth quartz stairs and then a smooth quartz slab on top. Boom. There you go. That's all there is to it. On top of the yellow concretes, we want back-to-back quartz stairs like this. And of course, here we don't want the slabs. We want the opposite facing smooth quartz stairs. Upside down ones behind. And then little slabs on top. And then fill the top of the cage in using slabs like this. There we go. So there we are. Again, it's just a nice little colourful decoration. You can put whatever you want in there. We do need buttons just to finish it off. And yeah, there we go. A couple of other things laying around, by the way, whilst we have it. Some weights, as in, like, you know how there's sometimes, again, coming back to old-timey, like, strongmen, where they'd, like, do feats of strength and stuff. So I'm just imagining, like, a couple of dumbbells, like, a couple of black concrete, so kind of like this, and then maybe, like, a black concrete and, like, a couple of end rods to look like a barbell and a dumbbell, like this. And then we also need to have an elephant here. So this is going to be tricky. We need enough room for the elephant. And again, coming back to numbers. So we might actually make that about here. And we might just place these little things like here then. So like this. Because we need to make sure that we've got enough head height for him. So yeah, I mean, and there's no reason, by the way, that we couldn't have like it just sort of lying around like this. Like, there's no reason. I mean, that looks pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, definitely. The reason that I left this stand open is because I want to draw attention to that part. Like, I want that part to be completely separate. And we can even make the little stand that the elephant will be while standing on. And it's quite simply, we want a 2x3 row of red concrete. So, 2x3. And then we want to stick smooth quartz slabs all the way around. Now, the elephant, I'm working this out for myself, is 1, 2, 3, 4 rows high. So we probably could just shift it over to the right as well. Again, I don't want to have to remake it. So about here we'll do, like this. And I think that we've just about got to the point where we need to grab some new materials, because I think that all of these materials have been exhausted. And this will certainly be the last set, by the way. We won't need any more than this that we're going to be grabbing now. Let me clear all these out, and let me grab the final set of materials. Okay, so here are the last few materials that hopefully the last few materials that we will need to finish off the build. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. So I'm going to start off by grabbing the stone buttons, minecarts, way to pressure plate, a few different colours of candles, all of the different colours of torches, and smooth quartz slabs. So the stone buttons are quite simply for a few things, but first of all, for the wheels of the motorcycles. The minecarts are going to be the seats, and the weighted pressure plates are going to be for just kind of like, I don't know, like wheel covers. It just looks better with them, to be quite honest. So there we go. That looks pretty good, and they can be to jump through the ring of fire, or through the ring of fire, or, you know, wherever. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put some buttons in the wheels of the cage, like this. Perfect. I sort of want to dot around some like candles and stuff. So the candles and these torches are meant to be, you kind of have to imagine, like, you can also use buttons for this as well. They're supposed to, in my mind, they're kind of like juggling implements and stuff. You know how, like, you know, clowns or just jugglers in general will juggle things. I imagine that these could be some of the colourful things that those jugglers are juggling. So there we go. That's pretty much all that's for. Feel free to dot those about the place, you know, wherever you feel like they might go. It's the same for everything, really. Like, not everything has to be in one specific place. You know, it can be all over the place. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of this. And last but not least, we are going to make the elephant, which I'm going to call affectionately Dumbo. So that requires smooth quartz slabs, stone block, stone stairs, stone slab, black concrete, yellow banners, yellow carpet. It's actually meant to be red carpet. Is there any red carpet we can steal? There we go, perfect. So to make the elephants, ever so slightly complicated, and this area actually has to be one row bigger also. Kind of made a bit of a boo-boo. And it has to be longer. Okay, so my bad. Okay, so this area essentially has to be a 3x4 block area. So it wasn't a 2x3 or whatever I said. It has to be a 3x4 by 4. So 3 being the side that the front corner here, we want to place stone blocks on top of the 2 front corners. Stone stairs on top of these blocks. On the back here, we want to place 2 stone blocks extending upwards, and we want to place stone stairs on top of that. We are going to place a stone block in between, and then underneath this we're going to place stone slabs, extend outwards, and then outwards diagonally. So we kind of just want to have this, and this is going to be the elephant's tail. So we also want to kind of create a bit of the body by extending we want to connect the stairs here to the back of the body, and then we kind of want to fill in the top of this a little bit, coming up to where we have these stairs. Now, I believe that we can extend this block here forwards, the block in the middle, and we can place upside down stone stairs. Does this have to be 1 row outwards, actually? This might have to be 1 row outwards, so we might have to, place just an additional row of stone, and then 1 in the middle here, and then upside down stone stairs like this, and then a stone on the middle, black concrete either side. There we go. We're kind of making the head here. We want to have I believe a slab just up on top here, or maybe it's a whole block. A whole block might look better. And then maybe we can try slabs just above the eyes like this. That looks pretty good. We need to make the ears. Now the ears, I'm just going to place a whole row of stone behind the back of the eyes, and then an additional stone extending outwards from the block behind the eyes. Upside down stone stairs. Maybe we might even drop that down. No, okay. An upside down stone stairs, a stair, and then a regular stone, an additional stone, and then a stone stairs on the side. This will be easier to see from this side. So upside down stair, stone, another stone, stone stairs like this, and then we're going to just add an extra layer of stone coming inside. And there we go. There are the elephant's ears. And because they're a little bit bigger, again, affectionately Dumbo. Feel free to extend the size of them. The trunk, I'm thinking we start off with just a stone stairs, an upside down stone stairs in front, and then just a stone block in front of them. The Dumbo is kind of just watching everything from behind the stand, which I think is quite cute. You can give him tusks as well if you like. These are going to be placed underneath here. So basically just underneath the upside down stairs like this. A couple of rows of them. You can drop, if you want to, you can even hang on. There we go. You can drop them down a little bit as well if you like, or you can have them straight out. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you. And there you go. I mean, that's most of the elephant. We're also going to add some red carpet onto the back of the elephant with a couple of yellow banners hanging off of the side like this. So there we go. And I like the idea. It's kind of cute. I kind of like it, and it fills up that area nicely. As you walk in, you can kind of just see a giant elephant to the right, which I like. And there we go. And like I said, this area I like to be just blocked off, like it doesn't need to be used. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We've kind of completed the circus. Well done. So this is what your circus will look like once it has been 100% fully completed. This thing certainly makes a statement. I don't think that you could put it in any world or city and it not kind of highlight the area that it's in. This thing is huge. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please do remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, click the little bell next to the subscription button, make sure that the bell's clicked. If you want to make anything else by me, check out the card system, the description below, the top of the comment section for the city builds playlist, and you might even like the quick builds playlist as well. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!